Hi fam, welcome back again to the channel. It's still your experienced babe, Sandra Ikoroji, and today we're going to go on part 2 of our Ghana history and culture. Welcome to the National Museum here in Adabraka, Yenkowai.
Is what we normally call anansi in our traditional setup, anansi. And back in the days, there was something called by the fireside, where our old or elders in the society would gather children around a fire. That was around in the evening. Then they would tell them about the history of the community. And in telling the history of the community, they use the spider as the protagonist. So if they are talking about being wise in the society, it is the spider. If it is about being wicked, the spider. If it's about being benevolent, the spider. There was this great story of the spider or the anansi wanting to be the wisest animal in the world. So he started collecting wisdom in a pot. After collecting everything, he hung the pot on his stomach and decided to climb a tree with it. And when he realized it was difficult to climb a tree with a pot in your belly, his son told him that, "Daddy, that is not how to climb with a pot. Hang the pot behind your back, then you can climb." He did that, he was able to climb, and when he got there, he was looking at his son and said, so with all this wisdom that he's collected, it was this small boy that told me how to climb. Meaning, wisdom does not lie within the head of one person. We need to say. So he dropped that pot to spread around for everybody to have wisdom. That is one of such stories. So we are using the anansi to link our object together to talk about the beautiful history of Ghana, the beautiful culture of Ghana. The 1 cedi, 100 cedis or 200 cedis, we have 6 heads. Those are called the big six. 6 individuals, including Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, that came together to fight for the independence of Ghana. Initially, there were 5 with the father of the current president, Edward Akufo-Addo. He was one time a ceremonial president of Ghana in 1972. So he and his cousin, William Uforiata, they are cousins, with 2 other friends, came up together to form this UGCC, United Gold Coast Convention, to press home the independence of Ghana. They invited Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to come and be their secretary. But when Dr. Kwame Nkrumah joined them, we realized that the whole movement was very slow. Whereas Dr. Kwame Nkrumah wanted independence now, the group were saying no, independence in the shortest possible time. So there was a disagreement. So Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left the group, formed his own party, Convention People's Party, and he won the election. That led him to become the first prime minister and the first president of the republic. So 5 of them invited him. Later on, he moved out and became. That's why we mentioned his name that much. But credit goes to all the 6 of them. But he is the one that we mentioned most high. And this is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Very good. Now, we were using the West African Currency Board instituted by the British, so the pounds, the shillings. This is the currency that we were using from the £5, 20 pounds. Then it continues until the Ghana cedi. Now, cowries are locally called cedie in Ghana. Cowries are like the seashells that you find around the coast. We call it cedie. So the Ghana cedi is cowries. So we have it all the way up to the last redenomination that we did. This is the last redenomination, 20,000. So in 2007, we decided to peg the cedi at the dollar. So we cut 4 zeros off, and 1 cedi was equivalent to $1. 2007. Fast forward, we've added 1 zero to it, and we are going. Jason. Gold Coast. Ghana, Nigeria, because we were governed by the British, we were using one color. So when we gained our independence, then we decided to move away from using this. 3 years later, then Nigerians also gained their independence. But since they were the only country using black and white, they still adopted the black, the green and white. Yes.
So Ghana got independence before Nigeria?
Oh, 3 years before Nigeria.
Wow. I'm just saying that for the first time.
1957. And then when we were attaining our Republican status in 1960, then Nigeria gained its independence. Wow. This is my favorite jersey, the Black Star. This is my favorite. So just imagine wearing this and playing football with it. It's more like having a wedding. How can you play football? Or maybe back in the days, football was something different than what we are seeing.
Maybe it was not as strenuous as now.
Yeah, just pass and go. But today, once you are holding the ball, somebody will take you from behind it. They must have suffered wearing this. Then the Black Star came in 1963. So this was when we changed from green to white, the Black Star. Then with time, red, gold, green, the national colors of Ghana also came in. So we have the colors around 1965. Red, gold, green. So the red is representing the blood and toil of our forefathers. Those that fought for our independence. This is their symbol. The gold color or the yellow is representing the mineral resources of the country. Diamond, gold, now oil and gas. The green stands for the vegetation of Ghana. Then the black, the hope of Africa. A beacon of hope for other African countries to also strive for their independence. So this was even before we came out with our coat of arms. So we realized that the coat of arms is not here. So that's another addition that we did.
Which part calls it are you?
Are you the Yoruba?
Because we call it Oko. So we call it Oko. So I think it's the Yorubas that call it Ayo.
At first,
Yeah, it's a very fun game in Nigeria. Yeah, you dig the holes.
So now you can buy this and then have comfortable home.
No, guess.
In 1960, when Ghana attained Republican status, this was the chair Dr. Kwame Nkrumah used. And he happens to be the only president. You can only stand by it for
I just thought that's why they put the rope there, because there's not many people want to sit on
a
it.
lot of people, when you move this, everybody will come and sit on it to take a picture. That will cause wear and tear. It's not that, one, we are paying respect to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, that again, we don't want to cause wear and tear. Even sometimes passion can...
This is our question. No, this chair is out of the game is presidency.
Then of course, the postal stamps. The postal stamps that we use now.
Okay, this is what they use at the borders or where?
At the post office.
Okay, post office. So guys,
Send hi on WhatsApp and by then.
This was the WhatsApp and
This was the WhatsApp in those days. I remember when I was in primary school, we
stamps.
we have
stamps.
a coat of arms of Ghana, being here, freedom and justice. We have the Black Star, as I spoke of. Then we have the two eagles. The two eagles stands for don't be content with where you are now, always strive forward. We have the shield divided into four by the St. George Cross, our allegiance to the Commonwealth, countries that were governed by the British, we are part of it. So here's it. Then we have the castle, our colonial history and seat of government. We have the clan staff, our chieftaincy institutions in Ghana. That is it. Then we have the tree, the vegetation of Ghana. Almost everywhere you can plant something. Mine shaft, the rich mineral resources of Ghana. Then of course, freedom and justice. very free country, very accommodating. We use the judicial system to settle our differences, but the wheel of justice grinds slowly and is very expensive, so we don't want to go that way. Let bygones be bygones and let's move ahead rather than spend money. This section of the exhibition talks about the history of Ghana, how we came to be as a country. Now, during the 1400s, West Africa was just one big country with just kingdoms. Ife Kingdom, talk about the Mali Empire in Timbuktu, Ashanti Kingdom, the Fanti Kingdom, and all those kind of stuff. No boundaries. That's the whole thing. Then the Europeans started coming in. Slave trade followed. Then after the slave trade, demarcation of boundaries, division of West Africa into 16 different countries as well. And that is what we are demonstrating here with the help of this map. So this map is just indicating routes where movement of goods came from. All this line from West Africa, then again from North Africa. These are all the spaces through which commodities move as well. How do we come by the histories? We use archaeological excavations to unravel most of this, like the fort and castle that we have in Ghana. Through archaeological excavations, we unravel them. But again, through our trading activities, religion was exchanged. Talking about these terracotta figurines, which came all the way from North Africa down here. For example, there's a Greek god called Janus, god of favor, two faces, one looking forward, one looking backward. Most of these traders came with it, and this is what they used to pray for favor as traders. This was the god that they brought. This was excavated in 1980 in the northern part of Ghana. That's when we did excavations, and carbon dating suggests that they were made from 1200 to 1880. This is where we have all of them. Then, of course,
Wow.
very good. So this session has to do with cave dwellings and rock art, how our forefathers were able to educate themselves with the use of these caves. So once in here, they use stones to write or draw on these stones to educate the young ones about their surroundings. If it has to do with slave raiders attacking them, they know how to manage it. If it has to do with monsters attacking them, they know how they do that. So then, of course, if it has to do with wars and death, these are the drawings that they use to educate the young ones about their surroundings and most of the things that happened around. This is it. Please, let's our forefathers traded in included beads. Early forms of beads were made from stones, and this was when we moved into the Iron Age, when we were able to perforate stones and use them as beads. But the stones are very heavy, so we looked for alternative materials, and we arrived by bauxite. So bauxite beads were made. But when the Europeans also came with their glass bottles, we were able to grind those bottles and make beads out of them. And today, the most authentic beads are the glass beads, which last forever, until let's say you put them in fire for it to melt away. Now, again, we'll talk about this, but it's related to your question. Like, even though we have diverse backgrounds, we are still very accommodating to other religions as well. Now, during the trading era, West Africans typically are religious or traditional religious believers where we worship God through our ancestors. Through trading, North Africans came in, built their mosque 1421 and practiced their religion as well. 61 years later, the Europeans also built the fort and castles along the coast of Ghana. So Muslim in the north, Christianity in the south, the middle, traditional religious believers. And we are very accommodating in nature, such that we intermarry. A Christian can marry a Muslim can marry a Christian, the same way everywhere as well. And like I said, rather than waste money to litigate or mitigate or whatever, it's better you let it go so that you will be very peaceful in society. So we believe in forgiveness, and also we don't want to tread on long path because of disputes. No, we don't. We just try to cut it short and live our life and enjoy our beer and palm wine. That is what we are into. Most of these drawings are, or the architectural designs are from the northern part of Africa, Mali, Sudan, Guinea, and those places. That is how those things trickled down to us.
Is it true this happens to be
The Mecca,
one of the oldest?
the oldest,
mosques
yes, in
West
West Africa, 1421. Now, the oldest European fortification was built in 1482.
I see.
So Elmina Castle, 1482. Labanga Mosque, 1421. 61 years difference. That is how unique these structures are. And now they've been adopted UNESCO Heritage Sites. We preserve it every year for.
So this is more like the Mecca.
The Mecca in West Africa.
West Africa.
Exactly. Then, like in the mosque, these are some of the prayer mats that they use. We have the prayer mats that they use as well. Ram skin, sheep skin, and today we have modern. This is Mecca. Once you come back from there, you come with something from there, and this is. Good. Please. Yes, in the Bible, somewhere Genesis chapter 2, God asked Adam, Adam, where are you? And the answer was, I'm naked. So, what did Adam use to cover his nakedness? He used broad leaves to cover his nakedness. But our forefathers were able to cover their nakedness from the use of the back cloth. Now, the back cloth is made from the back of a tree known as Antiaris species tree. There is a sample we have there. During the rainy season, you peel the back of the tree, you soak it in water, you beat carefully with this wooden mallet, as you can see here. You dry it by using stones to hold the edges, and once it dries out, this is what comes out of it. So this is what our forefathers were using to provide them.
So this is actually
from the back of the
back of the tree.
Yes. While we were using the back of the trees for textiles, we were also using the roots and the leaves for medicinal purposes. Neem tree, treating of malaria, that is there. Mahogany, special for male vitality, that is there. Guava, noni juice, hibiscus, sobolo, the drink. In America they call it sorrel. The bitter leaves, we have the bitter leaves also there and stuff. All these are plants and trees that we use in treating ailments, especially during COVID. This is what we use to boost our immune system. You pour hot water on the leaves, you cover yourself with blanket and you inhale the vapor.
What's that called in Ghana?
Neem tree.
Neem.
Neem tree. Neem. N-E-E-N. N-E-E-N. Good. Yes, we also have bangles. Apart from the beads, we're also dealing in bangles. Manila, stones, and wood as well. We're also making bangles from cowries. And cowries happens to be one of the oldest form of currency in Africa. And locally, we call it cedie. So that's the name of the Ghana cedi.
Which one?
This, the cowries. Locally, we call it cedie.
That's where the name came
So the name cedi, the name cedi is cowries.
What tribe is that?
I can't find you speak Ashanti, Cynthia.
So that's like, that's when it's
Exactly.